certainly is not easy to change our actions. Actions, that's how things get done, by doing things. And yet, how do we stop doing things that we don't want to do and start doing things that we want to do or that we feel we should do? It's so difficult to change what we do. Partly because our habits are all baked in. It's just easier to do whatever you've been doing. It becomes just an automatic and simple thing that you can just relax into, doing the thing you've always done. Whereas doing something new, it's always going to be a little bit awkward, a little bit uncomfortable, unknown territory. It's just somehow a little bit less pleasant. Though it may have some kind of, novelty to it that can be enjoyable, but, for the most part, it's really just kind of awkward. And, if we're used to being very lazy and self-indulgent and then we decide it's time to start working, well, the idea that we're going to get some kind of thrill of novelty from doing menial work for the first time. It's like, wow, this is exciting. You've never done boring work before. You're used to doing things that are fun all the time, just doing whatever you feel like. And now you are doing boring work all day, even though you don't feel like it. Isn't that exciting? Because it's new for you. So there's the thrill of novelty. Well, maybe that doesn't go so far. So really, it's hard to really get excited about doing new things, and it's so hard to stop doing the old things that we don't want to do. So it's so easy for anybody that is interested in improving life or doing things differently. It's so easy to get frustrated in you try to do something and you fail. You try to stop doing something and you fail. You just keep doing it. So this is where so many people get frustrated and give up because they feel that they can't change what they do. That these actions, these habits of these are the things I do and these are the things I don't do, it almost feels like it becomes baked into the personality. This is who I am. Maybe if there's an addiction, like I am a blank addict. And that is just me. And, if we're not used to, I'm just not a hard worker. It's just not my thing. If that we see that as our personality, then it's hard to change that. So we feel like, when we hear about all this self-improvement stuff, it's like, well, you can change yourself, you can be better. And then we try and then find that it doesn't work. And then it's easy to just give up and say, well, clearly I'm not cut out for self-improvement because I can't even make these little adjustments to my habits. So clearly I'm just not able to. And now I probably feel worse about myself because now I tried to improve and just revealed that, I'm even weaker than I thought and there's just nothing for me to do. But it seems to me like another way of looking at this. There's a step that comes even before changing our actions. And that's changing our values. Or even just becoming clear about our values, our priorities, what we consider to be important in life. If we change that, if we have some idea of what our values and priorities are in life, even if we have great difficulty changing our actions, just the fact of our values and priorities in our imagination, in what we imagine to be important in life, them being different from what we're doing, that will have an effect. I believe that this will begin to make a change. It creates a friction, a dissonance between what we believe and what we're doing. If we can be very clear about it, that, I believe in I like these things. Like if we believe in, let's say, hard work and family, these are important things to us. If we really feel that, and we're very clear that these are values, then even if we are maybe wasting time, chasing addictions and not doing anything to do with work or family, there's just that little bit of dissonance that's saying, okay, something's off, it doesn't quite fit. And then when we get a chance to, even though with all the difficulties, the brokenness, the challenges, the discomfort, but if we somehow get a chance to somehow do something that's related to work and family, that we can kind of feel a harmony there because we're doing something that fits with what we believe. So just by being clear about what we care about, we can already begin to plant the seeds of change, to set up an internal system where we will tend to move towards the things that we feel are good, and we tend to move away from the things we feel are bad. It's like paving the road. It's like when we're clear about our values, when we have a choice that's aligned with our values, there's just something a little bit easier about it. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but somehow it's just made a little bit smoother to go in that direction because it feels like it's harmonious with what we believe in. Whereas we have a choice to do something that goes against what we believe in, even if it's a strong habit and we're used to going in that direction, it may still be easy, but it's made a little bit harder. It's made a little bit disharmonious. Something feels a little bit off. So we're constantly going to be feeling better about moving in one direction and a little bit worse about moving in another direction. Still doesn't automatically change everything. But just by making that start, that internal decision of what we care about, we can already start to move things in a different direction.